Hello, welcome to Inner GPS Gurus. This video is an informative video about Kundalini Awakening coaching, online Kundalini Awakening coaching that I take to read and diagnose your Kundalini. You can say it is a psychic reading where I read your energies and get you aware, make you aware about what is happening in you during your Kundalini awakening journey. So, Kundalini awakening journey teaches you how to access to the Guru, and if not, then I am making you aware of it. This Kundalini awakening coaching is mainly for people who are going through spiritual awakening or Kundalini awakening and they do not know where they are in their journey. Now, what are the problems that you must be facing for which you will take this coaching? The first area is about your sudden Kundalini awakening and you do not know how to process the energy and you don't even know about Kundalini. So you can, if you have experienced many abnormalities in your life that you need clarity on, that you feel that it is a kind of spiritual awakening or something that you cannot access yourself, then you can take this coaching. In the page of this coaching page, service page, you will get all the areas and all the problems for which we are providing solutions. I will mention a few of them. For example, you are going through depression, anxiety, stress, insomnia, schizophrenia, multiple sclerosis, bipolar disorder, any mental health issues, or any undiagnosed issues that you are facing and not finding solutions elsewhere. Second is you are going through IBS, colitis, fibromyalgia, or any gut related or digestive system related issues that you are not able to get healed from the available medications or anything else you are trying in external life. If you are trying with any therapies, healing modalities available in the world and you are not getting solution, then also my healing, my diagnosis and my coaching will help you. Moreover, those who are going through Kundalini awakening and they are nice guys, who are good guys and not able to take actions against people who bully them, they can get themselves transformed. You can get yourself transformed through me and I will transform you into a masculine man. Though it may take a number of sessions for the final result, it is like if you have spent 40 years of your life being a nice guy, then at least you will take 40 sessions from me to transform yourself into a powerful man, to change your neural pathways, to take real actions. Also, if you feel you are too much involved in the matrix, samsara, and not able to find ways to be happy in the matrix, then we have IgG freedom model. I will teach you how to live in freedom model, IgG freedom model, where you can work from anywhere in the world, you can stay anywhere in the world, provided you are investing in yourself, in many life skills, and you are prepared for it energetically, that I can also work on if you are on this side. More details about everything you can have by taking my consulting, and there I will clear you. If you want to If you are too much affected by the negative energies at your home, then I will teach you how to create energy vortex at home where you can have the benefits of positive energy vortex and heal yourself in your home environment. So I will make you learn how to create energy vortex at your home. I will teach you how to be a minimalist wherever you are in your journey and live with the minimum, and how to invest in yourself. Apart from these, the other areas of life like career, wealth, financial problems, all these things related to money, related to financial issues, you can have a clarity if you are stuck somewhere, if your business is not working, if you are not getting job, for whatever reason, whatever be your karma. I will tell you by diagnosing your inner GPS, by diagnosing your Kundalini, I will answer all these things. Regarding relationship issues, if you have problems with your spouse, parents, family, friends, society, world, and you are not able to connect with the world the way the world expects from you, then you must get yourself empowered through me so that you can live an independent life in this world with your confidence and strength. You don't need to play a victim where nobody understands you. No, you can live a good life. If you have any health issues which is not getting resolved, I also heal cancer patients. And if you feel that you want to live a new life, you deserve a new life, then I am here for you. I teach you the other things which make you masculine, like semen retention, tantra, and other ways to be a masculine man with powers. All the secrets I share with you in the coaching session. The coaching session is online, so you can book it wherever you are in the world and get the benefits of it. Don't suppress anymore. I help you clear all your chakras. I do chakra healing as well. Not the kind of healing or chakra healing you know so far available in the world. These are all my secrets. I have the spiritual powers, the power of transforming you, the power of master, the guru, and that power gets transferred from me to you. Remaining other areas, you can have a look at the page, and more about it you can ask in an email if you have any confusion. Read all the frequently asked questions in the page before booking the session, and give yourself an opportunity to live a new life by working on yourself. Too much you have given importance to the world, too much you have given importance to everyone else. Now this is the time you give importance to yourself and get healed. Start a new life. I will make you youthful. I will make you energetic. I am full of ojas. Those who are lacking in ojas and having so many other issues in the body, physical, mental, energetic, they can also contact me. I teach you how to manage your weight. If you are experiencing obesity, if you are experiencing loss of weight, if you are not gaining weight, then I will teach you how to gain weight. I teach you everything from the source, provided you are a good learner and receptive to my energies. The moment people get connected to me, their Kundalini starts moving even through online Shaktipat. So I give you online Shaktipat, that is energy transmission, in the session itself, and my ways are totally unique and it is dynamic in nature. It is based on your energies. So better you are receptive at receiving my energies, the more you will get the energies and you will be transformed faster. All this is for now. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section. I will answer that, clarify your doubts. and look forward to have a life transforming experience with the Guru, that is me, the powerful Shakti, the Kundalini Shakti herself, is announcing to you. And even if you do not understand initially, whenever you need it, you can have it, because this service we are making it available 24/7 based on the timing, means in whichever country you are, accordingly we book the session, we give you the timing, and that is not based on any official hours. That is, the timing is fixed, but you can have the privilege to have the timing based on our personal discussion, and that is the opportunity you are getting. Even if you are on your deathbed and you want to live life, those who are in the hospital not getting healed and they feel like dying, I want you to take my coaching and start a new life from this moment. I have that power, and this is why I have created this video, so that it reaches those who need it the most. From the deathbed, you can return to a new life, because Kundalini is all about transforming you and giving you a new birth. If you are willing, if you are ready, then come, be with me and get healed. Thank you so much and have a great day. And keep smiling, keep laughing.